What's up, you guys? It is Robert DeFelice and Alex Cardoza. We are here for your Fightful Smackdown review podcast for March 15th. The Ides of March are upon us. Alex, how are you doing?
I'm excellent. The Eyes of March. Wow. Kind of scary, but cool at the same time.
Yeah, man. We had a big one. We had The Rock. We had some WrestleMania qualifiers for some tag teams. Rey Mysterio on the show. Glad to be jumping into all of it, but we want to hear from you guys as well. So get in your super chats, get in your Humper Chats at humperchats.com. And we will be having all the good times, all the discussions, some WrestleMania matches made for tonight. And yeah, I'm excited. What did you think about the show getting into it?
Man, we spoke a little bit about off the air about it. It's a little slow for me. The show was good. SmackDown was okay. I got to see I got to see my favorites. I got to see Legado de Fantasma. I'm a big fan of these guys, and I'm happy to finally see them cut it up with Ray. And we'll talk about it on the show. But other than that, the card building up to WrestleMania to me has been a little bit slower for the mid card down. Obviously, we know the big matches, but everything else is like, what are we waiting for?
I do think that WrestleMania this year is going to heavily be built on the big matches,
Yeah,
especially because you got Roman Reigns working 2 nights, you got
yeah,
Cody working 2 nights, you've probably got Rock working 2 nights as well. He just won't be wrestling for one of them. But we did get The Rock kicking off the show, and this was one of his old rock concerts. He had members of the band Warren Treaty playing some instruments. He did his usual shtick of, you know, the Rock's gonna lay the smackdown, Cody crybabies. He talked about some Cody fans being able to have sex, but they have to pay for it.
oh my
I,
god.
I'm gonna be honest. I am pretty. So I'm 30. I'm 30 years old. When The
Yeah.
Rock was around, I was
You
5,
were,
6.
yeah, you were.
No,
Oh
like
my god.
I was 18 when he made the comeback. And the truth is, Alex, this doesn't work for me. I don't feel like Rock doing this tired shtick is fun anymore,
Right.
especially when this very much feels like they pivoted because of the We Want Cody stuff. He's still doing babyface promos. He's coming out here in Memphis saying, "Oh, The Rock is home." Why am I booing you? Why?
I know.
What?
I
What
know.
is the show you're doing? What? What are we getting at here? It feels like he just wants to do a little bit of everything and have his cake and eat it too. I'm just not feeling this version of The Rock. But a lot of people were feeling the new theme song. They
Yeah,
liked the
very yeah.
shtick. Well, what'd you think?
Very, very I mean, it reminisces the old school Rock, like the guy that I grew up with. I was not 5 years old when the Rock was out there in the late 90s doing his thing. I was a teenager. But damn, like you can't boo him. No one can boo him. He's coming out there talking bad about the crowd, and the crowd's all falling into it, into his hands and into the ploy. And I put it out on Twitter. I'm like, they have a problem in their hands where they're not booing The Rock. Like, I come from the old school mentality where when you have a bad guy, you gotta hate him. You gotta burn his shirt when you're, at home because he just switched teams and now he's a bad guy, you know. Um, but here we are.
Yeah, look, I think that The Rock didn't plan on getting booed. I think a lot of what he's doing is just what he was going to do anyway. But he turned it on.
He did.
He did the Cody's mom. Thank God he didn't say some of the things he would have said about John Cena's mom a good 10 years ago. But he says, Cody's mom, I'm gonna give you the belt, and it's gonna be the belt that I whipped your son with. And after that, all I'll do is just tell you nice and calmly, what can I say except you're welcome.
I mean,
I'm a big fan of Moana personally. I thought that was funny. But this version of The Rock isn't working for me because I just think that he's gonna turn on Roman Reigns and eventually be the babyface that you want.
That's crazy because everyone's thinking the same thing as you. Everyone's waiting for that turn. Everyone says the finger thing. I think it's just because his tendons are so messed up he can't close his finger and make a one.
Well,
But
the first time I thought, okay, maybe he's just not getting it. The second time he did it very nice and slow to make sure people were seeing.
Yeah.
Let's get into some real quick super chats. Here we go. One from Van Twinblade that says, no Kate, but we do have other Alex, 4.99 out of 10. That is typically how I feel myself. And we got one from Kylie as well. It says, Robert and Alex, oh my God, hope you guys are well. We're doing pretty all right. Hope you're well too.
That made me pop, by the way, Van Twinblade, when he said 4.99 out of 10.
Oh, we got somebody coming in here that might be running in to give us some good news. I didn't know we were going to be hit with the man, Sean Ross. Sean Ross.
You removed me.
I try to let you in. I remove you. How you doing, Sean?
He said it's his show. You're not coming in until he lets you in.
Really?
Yeah, no kidding. It's good to see you guys.
Yes, sir.
Don't have the neon light up. I've been doing some rearranging in my office. Hopefully, I've got my studio set back up by the time next show rolls around. But Robert, thank you for filling in for Kate, who is doing commentary. We love having you back on screen. But yeah, I got some news from FightfulSelect.com, the best $5 in the business. We had those Smackdown plans. Tomorrow we're going to have backstage news and producers and the like. But the Rock segment was only supposed to go one segment, but it obviously ended up going to 26 past the hour. And it's not even like well, we're so angry about this thing. Like, they know what they're getting into at this point. Like, they understand, they know, and they adjusted. The Garza and Humberto match was supposed to be like a 2-segment match. And I feel like they probably planned that match as the 2-segment match that followed, expecting The Rock to take quite a bit of that time. But they had already planned Dragon Lee and Santos Escobar. Set for one segment.
It felt like that match right there felt super rushed for some reason. Like, let me ask you a question, since you talk more to the good people backstage and stuff like that. How does anyone feel? I mean, he's the final boss, right? That's the new term. Have you heard anything about how people feel about the pushing of the segments? I mean, going long. We saw it on camera, people recording when they were rushing him last week before the slap, or so like, how's that taken?
I honestly don't hear a bunch of negativity around it now. I don't hear that as much as I did initially, especially because The Rock has proven that, 1, he will show up at the shows. 2, he will step aside when something else hotter is there.
Nice.
3, he's putting in extra work for the social media stuff in addition.
That's true.
Like, he's doing for what his story is. They're doing an awful lot. And I'll hang around and answer some super chats.
You got a lot of them coming in.
And Humper chats, but no Kate, but we do have the other Alex, 4.99 out of 10. Sean, if you shaved, you become rain sauce wrap. No, I don't. I don't. If Fightful is the best $5, what's the worst $5?
We don't get into that here.
Probably whatever the Billy Batty guy makes people pay.
$5 footlongs, is that still a thing?
I don't think it's still a thing. Inflation.
It's like the movie Bedazzled. Like, you're giving up your whole soul when you subscribe to that service. Like,
oh man,
it's just, you can't do a selfless deed and get out of that one. No, there's no way. Sorry, Brendan Fraser, you're stuck. The worst $5.
That's tough.
Okay. I'll tell you what the worst $5 are. At least the worst thing I ever ate was one of those protein pastries from the gas station. I saw it. It
Come
looked
on.
like a Pop-Tart, and I took one bite of it. I didn't even chew it. I just said, no.
No.
And then my friend Samira was talking about how much she loves them. I was like, no way. No way. Just got word that it's the highest grossing event in Memphis in WWE history tonight.
That's insane. How much of that is just straight up due to inflation?
But still, inflation has always existed. And you still got to sell the tickets.
You know, I read an article yesterday from The Undertaker that said, I really can't give them advice because they're making so much damn money. And when you keep repeating this, it's hard not to agree with them.
Yeah. So, Will Chisholm says, SRS, do you know how the WWE and GCW stuff happened? Who asked who? So, you know what? I'm going to do a full report on Saturday on FightfulSelect.com, but you did pay for the super chat, and I will tell you that Josh Barnett asked Triple H personally.
Wow.
That's cool.
Yeah, and Josh Barnett, I followed up with him afterwards, and I said, listen, WWE had some very positive things to say about you. And he said, yeah, I think that working together is the right way to do business. I don't want to do like backstabbing stuff. He's like, just because we do stuff differently doesn't mean that it's doing things wrong. And he was obviously he's very, very happy to have somebody with the lineage of Billy Robinson to be there. I got tipped off to it about 20 minutes before the announcement, and I could not believe it. And then I couldn't believe I got a confirm on it. Couldn't believe somebody actually confirmed that, like right before the announcement, but they were all good sports about it as well. And I think they were kind of happy because that sort of accentuated the buzz. There was buzz before the buzz, but they were very, very happy with that. Eddie says, you think Rock is overshadowing Roman versus Cody? No, I mean, I think he's, I just used the word accentuating, Robert. I think he's accentuating the buzz.
He's accentuating the buzz, but he's overshadowing Roman. People suddenly don't care about how many days Roman's been champion. They care about Cody just winning the belt.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably what will play into a lot of this as well. Roman will not take getting upstaged, I don't think.
If I was them, I would honestly have Cody pin Rock night 1, Roman night 2, but I have a feeling Bloodline Rules is too good for them to pass up.
I want to see all the silly bullshit, brother. I want to see all of it. I want to see Samu, Fatu, Jacob Fatu. I want to see everyone. I want to see a Gary Albright impersonator out there. I want Naomi doing the rear view. And then Brandy Rhodes shows up like, who told you it was open mic night, bitch? And then spears her. I want to see everything. All the crazy stuff. Like, listen, I'm not watching Cody versus Roman for a great wrestling match. I want to see all the bullshit is what I want to see.
I think.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you kind of froze a little bit of mine. I thought you were done. Sorry, I looked away. No. I do got to say this. Out of the 7 hours that we're going to have, 14 hours altogether, night 1 and night 2, I need to know Sean's prediction on how long the Bloodline entrance and Rock's entrance, along with Cody's entrance, how long is that going to take out of the show?
Well, people keep talking about what's going to be night 1, night 2. Night 1, the opening match is just the entrances for the main event. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Legitimately a good 9 minutes, I think, between the entrances for that tag match.
Oh, yeah. I think the entrances for the tag match will take...
Oh, my God, that's right.
We should get Bet Online, our great partners, to do an over-under on that. Ooh, that's good shit.
That would be good shit.
Will
Chisholm says Roman's not going to like The Rock calling himself the final boss. I think he's good. I think The Rock acknowledged him. I think the ego is quelled for now until the bullshit starts.
I want 3% of all bets, by the way, just for thinking up of the idea. Yeah. There was a question here. I think, was it a super chat?
Which one was it?
Oh, no. Oh, well, it just came in. But I also had I also wanted to ask you if you know anything about Asuka. She was limping there at the end of the episode.
Working
I
to
know that
find out a
happened
little bit
quick,
more
so-
on that. Obviously, I mean, they don't have Mania plans for her right now, but still, I mean, obviously they were going to, but
she's tough though, man.
Those tag titles,
she
man.
continued. The ref looked like he came up to her, was like, "Hey," and she like completely ignored
Yeah.
him.
yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure.
Those tag titles. I hope another one's not injured. That would be pretty terrible. Got one here from Ryan Sullivan that says, "Man, Kate's hair looks good. I couldn't agree more."
And I mean, at least they are in a spot, and I'm not sitting here hoping that Asuka gets injured or anything, but they could freebird those titles as well. I guess.
Sure.
My God.
We got one from Bruce. Says Cody Rhodes has been looking like a geek the whole storyline. The great one, completely owning the Cody marks. I can't wait to boo Cody in Philly. You're the guy.
You're the one. You're the one. The Diarrhea Dwayne fan. I bet he's embarrassed now that I said that.
Oh my God.
Got him.
Get it? He said poo boo.
Listen, I loved The Rock's promo tonight. So it's this and the social media promos that I look at, and I'm like, okay, guys, can you see when we say, yeah, you don't got to bring up like, oh, Seth is your girlfriend, or Roman bringing up like, oh, the crossdresser. No, y'all don't need that.
Right.
This is what you need. Is this?
Mhm.
That's what we need more of, and The Rock just killed it. Oh,
It's very hard to. I was saying this. I'm an old school fan. Robert was 3 years old when The Rock, came out and was doing his whole gimmick with the corporate. I was in my teens, and I'm like, we booed him.
yeah.
Freddie's grandmother went to her grave not speaking to his wife, Sarah Michelle Gellar, because she did a movie with The Rock when The Rock went corporate, because that's how much she believed in wrestling. Okay. She stopped talking to her dying day. She would not talk to her because she did a movie and told him, did she know that he's corporate Rock and like he's a bad guy? And so, yeah, he was like, grandma, he was like, no, I'm not talking to her ever again.
That's incredible.
So that's the type of passion I have, by the way, when it comes to a bad person in wrestling. So it's kind of like funny to see everyone just loving on Rock, even though, I was waiting for him to drop like a meth line for tonight for them, but he didn't. He embraced it.
Wow, that is phenomenal.
That's very funny.
Oh God, Bruce. Look at Bruce.
He's asking me to make Vince Russo relevant again. Can I respond to Vince Russo owning me? Well, let's see. Guess who relies on me for content on his show?
Oh boy.
The thing that happens regularly.
Guess the only time that I talk about him, when somebody drops $1.99 to ask about him. That's
Bruce. I just want to say this: SmackDown ended at 10 p.m.
Hold on. Check this out. Come on.
Is that a cat or your chair?
Come on up here, Mel.
I think it's both.
Check it out.
Look at that.
Melvin, the cat, has now been viewed more times this week on YouTube than Vince Russo. Look at that, Melvin. You're a beauty, aren't you? Look at him.
That's been clipped and now shared 1 million times, by the way.
We got another one from Eddie. We got another one from Bruce that says, I want to see Eddie return and join the bloodline.
Best $2 in the biz right there.
What was the worst $5? The 5 that Bruce Blitz has spent tonight. There you go.
Just did it to yourself, I guess. We got one here from Jay Miller also asking about Asuka. You'll have a story on that as you find out more, I'm sure.
Yeah, indeed. Guys, I'll encourage you all to send super chats tonight. I don't know if Robert has access to the Humper chats, but I will leave the ones that have been sent in the private chat. That way we'll just read them now while I'm on the air, and then I'll encourage you guys to send super chats the rest of the night. JP, that might have been for Alex, but says, I don't understand the Jay White Darby thing. It was the only thing that didn't make sense to me. We knew what Darby was out. Why did we have to break up this way? Oh, this is from 2 nights ago. We're good. No Humper Chats. We're
Well,
good.
by the way, heel up Darby Allin, broke his foot.
Yeah.
Won't be climbing
And-
Mount Everest.
I haven't looked at a lot of the tweets about it because I just know there's going to be the faux outrage of a guy who
yeah.
of a guy who has done crazy shit for 5 years in a row and hasn't got hurt.
Can I
And
tell you
then-
something?
Go ahead.
If he's climbing Mount Everest with a boot selling, I will
Thankfully,
buy
I
as-
think he said he's waiting till next year. I don't want
I
to see
will
him.
buy all
Yeah.
his merch for like the rest of the year just
Unreal.
to wear around.
Unreal. Guys, I'm going to hop off here. It was great to see you all. Hope you guys enjoy.
Thank
Good
you,
to
sir.
see
You have a
you.
great one.
See you
Enjoy
later,
your
sir.
Friday.
All right. Well, I think that takes care of most of the Rock stuff, unless you have a little bit more you want to add.
I don't have any. I mean, I'll boo him, but that's about
By
it.
the way, since you said it, I was 3 years old when he debuted. I was in the building. I was at the Garden. I was in the building that night.
Get out of here.
I was legitimately.
Wow, that's amazing. Good for you.
Yeah. But as we continue on with SmackDown, we come out of the Rock concert to the match that Sean said was apparently cut for time. Legato and LWO. And Legato beats the LWO to advance to a chance to get to the 6-pack ladder match. What'd you think of this match? These two teams, they worked before. They work pretty well together. I always enjoy seeing some good lucha action on Friday nights. What'd you think?
Man, I love everything that has to do with lucha libre. SmackDown has become so much more fun since they've allowed them to be more of who they are and using their style as opposed to suppressing it. You know what I'm saying? Even Rey Mysterio had to change his ways to become more WWE like of wrestling. You know what I'm saying? So just to see that the new generation of luchadors that are coming in, being able to do what they want, basically not what they want in the ring, but kind of just be experimental and do some really cool things. I love it. I loved it. You know, Legato's still my favorite, bro. I don't care what happens.
Now, Legato,
Oh my
Angel
god,
and Humberto, they are a great tag team. I hate the
They
name
are.
Humberto. I just want to, I'm not on here enough. I think that's ridiculous. His full name is great. I miss back one of the best things during the pandemic was when they were paired with Randy.
that's
I think they're a
right.
fantastic tag team. LWO is kind of obvious they weren't going to get it here because they're in the NXT qualifier. And honestly, I hope Legato makes it to the ladder match. I think they'll add a lot of flavor.
Dude,
the ladder
talk about
match.
flavor. That's gonna be an insane match.
I mean, 12 dudes in a ladder match, it's going to be a lot of fun
yeah,
as it is. But we go from that to LA Knight. LA Knight comes out. He says, AJ Styles, you're not here, but I know where you will be because you can't resist. I'm challenging you to a match at WrestleMania. I'm going to be honest. I don't care for this.
yeah. It's you're right. LA Knight to me has cooled off so much. People still pop for the intro and it's cool, whatever. Like you're there to get a good show. But as someone who's following everything closely and talks about it and gives opinions on it, I feel like he's cooled off to the max, brother.
It sounds shitty. I never thought that he was going to be huge beyond the match with Roman because I know
Hot
the way,
take. Someone better
the way
clip
this
Robert.
works. Look, I know the way this works. I'm not saying he's not great. I'm not saying he's not charismatic. He is, but I know how this works. I don't think anybody really saw him dethroning Roman Reigns. I just wish AJ Styles was in a match that could help him shine a bit more because I don't know how many more AJ has in him.
No.
And I
Yeah.
want him doing the best he possibly can at all times. You know, he's a heel right now. He comes out, hits LA Knight with a chair. He accepts. This will be a fine night one match, but it's not like, is it a match you'll remember on Monday, April 8th? I don't know. I know
No,
that sounds
right.
harsh, but
No, you're
I don't
right.
know.
You're right.
You know, I would rather see AJ Styles, you know, maybe in the ring, Kevin Owens, Logan Paul, doing something that he might be remembered for. LA Knight, though, this is a good spot for him, especially after, he was Max Dupree around this time last year. Well, He was just getting over the Max Dupree stuff around this time last year, and he's improved so much. So that is really cool to see. But this is not the match I thought either man would have at WrestleMania.
No, and he's moved further away from any title contention as well. Like it's just, I thought he was going to be the one to dethrone.
Yeah, a lot
Logan
of people
Paul.
thought he would dethrone Logan.
Yeah, and
They've completely moved away from that.
Yeah, completely.
And no, that gets these two to WrestleMania. But Logan Paul talks to Nick Aldis, and he's like, "I want you to tell Randy Orton to apologize for what he did last week." He's holding the Prime sponsorship over him, and Nick Aldis kind of says, "I'm not going to do that." And he says, "Well, how can I expect you to do that when you can't even do your job and find me an opponent for WrestleMania?" Pride comes before a fall, Alex.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man. He put his foot in his mouth. My friend there, Logan.
It is good to know that one RKO to Nick Aldis and one $10,000 payment from Randy Orton, and that was all he needed. He doesn't seem to want to antagonize Randy Orton anymore. I appreciate that Nick Aldis is a smart man. We did get like 5 seconds of the bloodline. This is maybe the least bloodline I've ever seen on a show, where Paul was Solo and Jimmy, and Kayla stops him. She says, "Just want to know if you guys had any answer to Jey Uso's challenge." And Jimmy says, "Yeah, I got your answer. I'm Big Brother, and at WrestleMania, it's me versus you. Yeet." And I gotta tell you, Alex, this is the first time since Jimmy Uso turned heel that it seemed like there was a little bit of fire. There was a little bit of something in there. I have to imagine he did that because I know where this is going. I know that this is going to be played in all the promos, and I want to sound like, I'm a little fired up. Want to sound like I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
They could steal it at WrestleMania if they really wanted to. Jimmy and Jay, I think that's going to be a really fun match.
Yeah, it'll be cool to kind of see the brothers kind of just finally, put this to the test, see who comes out of it alive, basically. Like, is there any more bloodline drama? Do they leave the ring by giving each other a hug? Like, what's gonna happen? Like, what is this all gonna entail?
I can only imagine this, much like Rock and Roman and Seth and Cody. This is only the first time we'll see Jimmy and Jay at WrestleMania. I'm sure they'll be involved in that main event.
Sure.
But, before this, it really did seem like Jimmy was ducking Jay for quite a while. And, sometimes you just got to do that, Alex. Sometimes you just got to be like, I want to get out of here. I want to be anywhere else in the world, Alex. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just want to be anywhere else in the world. And guys, if you want to be anywhere else in the world in the blink of an eye, our good friends at NordVPN can help you out with that.
You've heard me talk about a lot of things that NordVPN.com/Fightful has, and I'm about to tell you almost everything it has. Listen to your favorites abroad. If you're traveling and you want to listen to your favorite shows, they got you covered. Fastest VPN in the world. You can shield your data from snoops and criminals. So that way your IP address is changed. You can safely listen to podcasts, stream shows, simply browse in complete privacy. You can protect yourself on that public Wi-Fi no matter where it is. You can secure every device you own on every operating system you own. They also have the ability to get a NordPass password manager. Maybe it's a little more difficult for you to remember those passwords. They got you covered. They also got the file encryption tool. That way there's an extra layer of security between you and your content. Threat protection, you're safe from disruptions with their kill switch, 24/7 tech support, fastest VPN on the planet, reliable encryption, a 30-day money-back guarantee. You will end up saving money when you subscribe to NordVPN.com/Fightful.
There it is. And they are a great service, and we thank them for helping us out so much. We got a super chat here from Anthony. Anthony says he wishes he was more hyped for the Jimmy and Jay match, but he's not because Jimmy's been booked like a joke. See, that's what I was getting at. Like, this was the one time where he was like, yeah, I'm Big Brother and I'm going to whoop your ass, which kind of surprised me a little bit because it was so inconsistent with the rest of the booking. But I'm all for them making Jimmy Uso look more like a threat because he's the one who pulled the trigger on turning against Roman. He's the one who was half of that tag team for 600 days. He's the one that headlined WrestleMania last year. I think that they need to do a better service to Jimmy Uso.
Yeah, 100%. We'll see, and we'll see where everything heads for them. God, I wouldn't be surprised if you see them working together somehow, but we'll see.
Well, I would not be surprised if by April 8th we got the Usos back together.
Yeah,
Just a hunch.
That's
Just
with
a
I
hunch.
need them with the face paint.
I don't know if they go that far. I
I
think
know, I'm just kidding.
but you never know. Sean was talking about Samu and Fatu. We could see some head
Oh
shrinkers action
man,
come
yeah, that would be
WrestleMania.
cool.
But we're moving on here, and you got Randy Orton taking on Grayson Waller. This is really cool for Grayson because he's a guy who's come in from NXT and they've really treated him well. He had one of Edge's last matches. He gets to spar with The Rock. He gets these cool moments. They see a lot in Grayson, but Orton gets the win in about 7 minutes. And the deal RKO, because honestly, you should never try to fly in at Randy Orton. You're gonna get hit with an RKO.
I'll tell you what,
And
yeah,
go ahead.
that stunner to an RKO kind of took its time. I know you're probably gonna get there. I just I wanted to get that out of my brain. I'm like, it looked weird. I don't know
Yeah.
how it looked like for you guys in the chat room right now, but unfortunately, it did not sit right by me because it kind of felt damn, like super set up.
A lot of these RKOs do feel that way unless the guy on the receiving end is butter smooth, and maybe there was just the slightest bit of hesitation will make it seem a bit more planned, and obviously it is, but there's a way to do it that doesn't make it look so obvious. But
Yeah,
I agree with you, and I got a message about that as well, that the RKO looked a little funky.
for sure.
But we go from that to we get some Logan Paul action. As they're all jumping Orton, Kevin Owens comes out. They clean house. Orton almost gets RKO'd, almost like foreshadowing. Out comes Nick Aldis, who says, "Logan, good news, bud. I found your opponent for WrestleMania. Oops, I mean your opponents, because you're fighting Kevin and Randy." This is great for This is great for Logan. I don't know how I feel about this for Kevin and Randy. What do you think?
I was not expecting them to be going up against Logan. You just had these two gents together in the ring, loving on each other. I would have liked for one of them to kind of try to play each other. I'll do something, like fake a punch or something, but that didn't happen. So I don't know. We still got time. We'll see.
Oh
You
yeah,
can see you can see where they kind of almost did something to each other. They almost crisscrossed, and hit each other. There was a move in the ring. So I wonder if they're setting something up where you finally are going to get that. Like these two are, they got to set up this match and blow it up. It can't just be 2-on-1. You know what I'm saying?
I can see them setting it up that way just because Logan is such a, you love to hate him. But I think eventually you'll get the Randy Orton RKO's Kevin Owens because you can't trust everybody. Or maybe even you have Kevin do it first because Randy Orton doing it is the obvious.
Sure.
And when I thought it was going to be 1-on-1, I would have said Logan loses. But now that it's triple threat, I think Logan retains.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here.
I don't want it to. I don't want that to happen. But they're going to Cleveland this summer. They could set up any match with Logan, though. It doesn't have to be a title match.
If he does lose, I'd like to see Randy Orton have the U.S. title and do
Sure.
U.S. Open Challenge kind of deal. Get some matches in as he's on this run that he never thought he'd have again.
Right.
It should be a really fun match. They're three great dudes, but I think they're both going to be too concerned about being the one to beat Logan that Logan will be able to sneak it and pick up his second win at a WrestleMania.
Yeah, people are saying Logan might win, so we'll see. God, man, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see him retain. I want to see someone, you know, in the ring kind of get it, but we'll see. I mean,
Yeah, I think the
damn it.
hope is that Cody pins Roman, and then we at least have your main event title in the ring every week. But
Yeah,
I get where you're coming from, because it's pretty hard to have so many, you know, part-time champions, and your tag champions that are
sure.
cross-branded are basically exclusive to Raw.
Yeah,
We moving on here. Damage Control is interviewed by Caleb Braxton, and Dakota Kai basically says that Bayley was jealous because, you know, it's their vision now, and Damage Control runs the show. I think this is the easiestly best built match going into WrestleMania, and I think Bayley's getting a little shafted in terms of main event promotion,
yeah.
but I am enjoying the build. What do you think about this promo?
Yeah, this is one of the matches and one of the actual builds that I've been actually really happy with. I didn't like in the beginning, I was just like afraid of how they were gonna like come out of it. You know, there was a lot of injuries and things happening within that group. So I'm excited for this. To me, is my main event, to be honest. Like Bailey's worked her ass off for it.
Yeah, look, I hope she gets Paramore. I hope that, she's got all the help in the world. I hope
Everything.
she
Hell
holds
yeah.
the title up high. I hope there's pyro. She deserves everything, and this is her year.
For sure.
You know whose night it wasn't was Santos Escobar and Dragon Lee. They got about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Dragon Lee gets caught in the Phantom Driver, and there's a lot of shenanigans after the match. But real quick, what do you think about them getting 2 minutes?
Uh they did what they could with the time that they gave them. They're very impressive though, man. It looked like even though the match was short, it definitely looked like they had enough time to put everything that they wanted into it. They continued the story at the very end of it with Santos and Rey. So I hope that this leads to something with Santos at WrestleMania. But I mean, we're gonna get a blow off next week with Rey and Santos. So God, that
Yeah,
sucks. I
so
would have
them
loved to
doing a
see them.
singles match next week is a little weird to me, because
It
I
is
thought for sure we were
100%.
going to WrestleMania with these two, and then maybe build to something a little more passionate, like a mask versus hair match down the line. But I thought we were at least getting a singles at
Sure.
Mania,
Yeah.
and maybe we still do. I don't know. But
Yeah,
we will.
I think it'll shape its way out. We'll see how I mean, I would like to see Santos get that WrestleMania pop. I mean, well, he's not gonna he's a bad guy, but for me personally, him getting his comings out of WrestleMania would be pretty dope.
If they don't go with the one-on-one, I have to assume maybe we just end up
The
getting
team. Yeah.
4-on-4 or
Yeah.
something,
Correct.
because they deserve a spot,
Yeah.
and they're not gonna not put put Rey Mysterio on WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Um, Moving out of that, we go to the New Catch Republic of Tyler Bate, Pete Dunne, and they get the win over Pretty Deadly, and they're going to be the other team advancing to the match to get into the six pack. This is pretty much standard from what we've seen of them. It's nice to see Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate get in a spot. If anybody's going to beat Legato, I want it to be them, because I want to see Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate maybe walk away with some gold.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, maybe a team pulls down the Smackdown titles so that we get these belts separated, so these
Sure.
teams have a prize to fight for. But I'd love to see New Catch Republic holding some gold at the end of WrestleMania. But what do you think about this match and the
Yeah,
overall progression of New Catch Republic?
let them separate them, separate the titles, exactly like you said. We have one team member from one side and another team member from the other. Just grab one and one and just fall off. You know what I'm saying? Like, why not? Yeah, I think Catch Republic is gonna take it next week, or like continue. And unfortunately, it's gonna be exactly that. I think it might be a big match with Legado de Fantasma. later on, and I think they're gonna let catch. And let me tell you something: having those two in an insane ladder match or whatever, it'll be so dope, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they're gonna add a lot of flavor to it, but hopefully we see a really deserving team walk away with the gold. And Judgment Day is great, but I can't imagine that they need to continue holding these titles any
No,
longer because
yeah,
Priest needs to cash in that belt.
and it's the whole it got stale. It's stale as hell. They having the titles has now meant nothing.
Yeah. You know, they did main event last year. Hopefully they get back there again. But guys, get in your super chats if you want to talk SmackDown, WrestleMania. We might even talk a little bit of Rampage, as Luis, our great moderator, has sent in a Rampage rundown, because we're almost at the home stretch as we're getting into a just the next week rundown. We got Mysterio, Escobar, AOP and Street Profits, and OC versus Waller in Theory as part of the tag team tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you see winning those tag matches? I'm gonna go with Street Profits and Theory and Waller, and then I'm gonna guess Waller and Theory get the spot at WrestleMania along with Newcastle.
Yeah, yeah. I'm with you on that one. Because that's another team that's just kind of the Street Profits have kind of just really gone to the wayside. That's another team that I feel like completely cooled off. I thought they were gonna have something really good happening with Bobby Lashley, and it's just been blah.
Yeah, it seems like they just haven't had anything for Lashley since he was champion in the
You're
pandemic.
right.
Really
Yeah.
unfortunate. The Street Profits haven't been champion in like 3 years almost, which is crazy to think about. But I can't imagine Austin Theory goes from beating John Cena at WrestleMania to not having a match at the next year's Mania. So that alone, I got to think Waller and Theory.
That's
get
what
the
happens
due.
when you have a big ass roster. They continue to bring people back and signing people, and this goes for any company, not just them, but like people are now getting sandwiched into this giant pile of mid cardness and
Uh,
not really moving.
and Good Brothers, I think, will
Oh
probably
God,
be beating the Wolf Dogs for the NXT Tag Team Championship at Stand and Deliver. So I don't see
yeah,
them winning either.
no, yeah, I agree with you on that.
But as we go on, we got main event. Bailey's in the main event, so at least the girls are getting some time to shine on this show. And she faces Dakota Kai. She wins, but by DQ, as everything really breaks down. And there's a lot of damage control interference. We get Naomi's out to try and help, but ultimately it's damage control standing tall, Alex. And what do you think this means for damage control? And I know we saw Asuka limping. Where do you think this all goes?
I mean, I obviously we're gonna have a change in championship here. Bailey's she's getting the beatdowns, man. So that's I mean, we've been watching wrestling long enough that you know what this means. When
Yeah, I mean,
this one person continues to get beat down, you know where this is all headed. You know what I'm saying? So I think Bailey finally gets her coming. I think damage control eventually within the next couple months. I don't think they even make it to as far as SummerSlam. I think in the back of my head you know they'll implode. I think they'll implode. I mean, what more can you do? These girls have been together for a long time. The damage control crew, you know.
yeah,
So factions are hard. Uh, the bloodline just works for some reason, just because they basically is a giant family that wants to beat everyone down.
and even that, I think the well ran dry. You know,
100, yes.
I
So
think the well ran dry a while ago.
you got the final testament there. That's dead in the water already.
Which is a damn shame, because let me tell you something. Paul Ellering is still out there cutting promos like it's
Yeah.
1987.
Yeah.
Karrion Kross is one of the most passionate dudes I've ever heard talk about wrestling, and you don't get better henchmen than Akam and Razor. Like, this is a perfect stable, but it feels
True.
like it's a perfect stable for maybe 30 years ago, maybe right group, wrong era.
You're right.
I
No,
don't know.
100%. Yeah. Like I just feel there's a couple stables that just don't make sense right now that look, even Judgment Day. I think you might see the end of Judgment Day by SummerSlam.
Oh, I think you might see the end of Judgment Day by
WrestleMania?
the month after Mania. I mean, because they're splitting Rhea from the group,
Yes.
probably.
Yeah, yeah.
She's babyface. And if they lose the tag titles and hopefully Damian Priest can move on with the briefcase, I think it's only a matter of time before Judgment Day splits.
Well, that and you have the I mean, we'll have another brand split. What's it called? The draft again.
Yeah.
We all know that things move around after April. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but May has been synonymous in WWE with, final goodbyes with certain wrestlers and how they just kind of move certain pieces at the company, So, let's hope none of that happens. But it's just like once May rolls around, there's always a lot of parts shifting around in WWE.
Yeah, because as they enter that second quarter of the year, they're going to want to set up the next Mania properly
Correct.
by
Yes.
moving the puzzle pieces where they need to go.
Yep.
But that kind of takes care of SmackDown tonight. I'm
Pretty
excited
good.
for Mania on paper, but I'm also like, I'm not feeling everything that they're doing. Like I said, I really don't like what we've got going on with LA Knight and AJ Styles. I just wish there was a better match for both of them. I think that Bayley and Io Sky has been built up great, but it feels like a foregone conclusion.
Yeah.
It seems like the build to this Mania is very, hey, Rock's here, shut up and enjoy it.
It's Mania. I think
Yeah.
they've gotten to the point where, listen, they're making a lot of money in their shows. They're selling out, but I take it with a grain of salt. WWE is WWE for 70 plus years. You know what I'm saying? They should be selling out arenas. They should be getting in people into WrestleManias without even showing a card because it's WrestleMania. They're going for the show. You know what I'm saying? They could put anything in the ring. They could put two monkeys fighting each other for the world title, and people will still cheer and boo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's WrestleMania. That it's big. So I think you're right.
Giving them that pass though. I still want them to try, and I feel like saying that gives them, they know, oh, we can do whatever, and I always want them to try.
No, I know. I do too, especially with the fact that, I said this last year to Kate when we were on the way to WrestleMania. I wasn't feeling it. There were WrestleManias prior that I was feeling it. I was so ready to sit down for 13 hours and just watch wrestling. That's all I wanted to do. I wanted to order pizza, make some wings, grill some freaking burgers, and just watch WrestleMania. But these last 2 years, they've kind of felt like it's like, all right, cool. It's WrestleMania. I'll put it on and I'll watch it. And, we do get some great matches. We'll get some great moments. I love that about Mania. But the build up to there, it seems like it's been just a Rock bloodline, everything that's happening there. And then everything else just kind of supporting role for that.
And we were talking about it off air. I'm not a fan of Two Night Mania. I think they just made the show longer. They didn't solve any of the problems, but it does get more people on the show, and that's a positive.
That's a very positive. I agree.
Yeah, but I just wish they were doing more with the time given.
Sure, I'm with you.
But Luis was kind enough to give us a Rampage rundown, so I'm just going to run down the quick results of Rampage here. Best friends of Orange Cassidy and Trent defeated the Dark Order. They're going to be in that tag tournament, so that's pretty cool. I wish the Dark Order was doing a little bit more over there in AEW, but what can you do?
Same.
We had a vignette for the Righteous. Big fan of the Righteous. Big fan of Jake the Snake. Big fan of Lance Archer. I want to see that stable do more. We had a brawl between Zach Knight and Angela Parker. I can only imagine that we're eventually going to get a mixed tag with Saraya and Ruby on either side. Tony Storm and Mariah defeated Little Mean Kathleen and Kayla Sparks. Who do you think Deanna's got as her partner come next Wednesday?
I don't know, man. I have no idea. Who do you think?
You think she's had any dental appointments lately?
You think she's back? You think she's ready?
I think if Deonna Purrazzo has a partner, I think it's Dr. Britt Baker.
Man, I tweeted her the other day. It'd be nice to kind of have her back on the fold again.
Oh wait, hold on. No, geez, thanks, Luis. Her partner was revealed to be Thunder
Oh.
Rosa.
Oh,
Really?
there it is. Okay.
Really? That's crazy. That's not who I was expecting.
Thank you, Luis, for
That's
that.
not what I was expecting at all. That's crazy.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, more Thunder Rosa on TV. Also, I am not also going to.
I'm not
going
to say no to Thunder Rosa on TV either.
For
but
sure,
I was
I
really
love Thunder.
hoping for Dr. Britt Baker.
Yeah.
So yeah, after the match,
Maybe
he's
Jade.
done
No, just kidding.
by Thunder Rosa, and they chase off Man Storm. I still gotta believe that's gotta be leading to Britt Baker at some point. There's a video package for Queen Aminata. I think she's got a good shot of winning that Ring of Honor Women's World TV title. I think she's fantastic. And then we get the AEW Tag Title Tournament bracket. We got Ricky Starks and Big Bill against Top Flight. Got the Young Bucks against Private Party. We got Taven and Bennett against the winners of a match between Best Friends and Kyle Fletcher and Will Hobbs. And we got FTR against the winners of a match between the Infantry and the House of Black, Buddy Matthews and Brody King. And that'll take place tomorrow on Collision. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to guess House of Black wins that.
Oh, yeah. We got to see a part 2 of this or 3 of FTR and House of Black.
And I'm going to guess we get Taven and Bennett against Best Friends just to continue that rivalry as well.
Yep.
That'll be a lot of fun, though. Continue on Rampage. We had Takeshita beat Komandar. A Serena Deeb vignette. She promises to win some gold. And
hopefully.
I would like to see her win some gold, too. I definitely thought that she was going to be Mercedes' first challenger.
Yeah.
And she still could be. And in the main event, the Undisputed Kingdom of Roderick Strong, Matt Taven, and Mike Bennett faced off with Top Flight and Action Andretti. And of course, the Undisputed Kingdom did get the win because you got to give that faction something. You're not giving them Wardlow winning matches, so got to give them something.
Good show.
That about takes care of your Friday night. Pretty decent stuff. I'm excited for what we got next week on SmackDown with Cody and Roman being face to face. Somebody's asking who we think is going to win between Jay and Jimmy. I think it's Jay all the way. But that'll do it for us. Alex, where can they find you?
Hey, man, big night next Friday night. Make sure you guys are here once again. Come hang out with us. It is my the day before my official birthday. So my birthday's next Saturday. So we're going to spend the night before here, birthday eve, talking about SmackDown, having a good time. So hope to see everyone that was on the chat. You guys can follow me on Twitter, _Alexis Cardoza, where I like to really piss off the IWC with my hot takes from what I see, and I love it. Whether they're good or bad, I praise everyone. I love wrestling. So sometimes I get good, sometimes I get bad. And and on Instagram, just Alexis Cardoza, no underscores or anything like that. Same thing with Threads. I've been on there a lot. That account's been growing very quickly. So yeah, I love you all, man. Thank you for being here with Robert and I.
Oh yeah, and you can follow me everywhere at DeFelice. That's on Twitter, Instagram, Threads, Twitch. Listen, if there's a social media platform, you type in the term DeFelice, I'm probably going to be there. And thanks for hanging out. Kate will be back next week. If you're not faithful fans, she will be back telling all the good stuff.
The Bangs will be back.
The Bangs will be back. Oh my God. Alex, you just reminded me of something. We can't let a Friday night go on without getting a little bang bang action, can we?
When your package has arrived from Blue Chew, oh boy, has your package arrived. And the mailman won't really know what he's bringing you because it arrives in a discreet package. But as we've mentioned, discretion will not be something that people use to describe your package. That's because Blue Chew is a unique online service that has the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable tablets at a fraction of the cost. Take them anytime, day or night, wee hours of the morning hours of the wee. It doesn't really matter. It's ready whenever the opportunity arises. And a lot will arise with BlueChew.com and the code FIGHTFUL. Get your first month free when you use our promo code FIGHTFUL. Just pay $5 at shipping. Use that promo code FIGHTFUL at BlueChew.com. Sign up at BlueChew.com. Consult with a licensed medical provider. Once you're approved, you'll receive that prescription within days. No doctor's office, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at the pharmacy where Linda's going to be like, "Oh, you see him getting those Wayne pills?" It's not going to happen. Not with BlueChew.com and the code FIGHTFUL. Do it.
Yep, do it. Do it right on Friday night. And Alex, I think we did. So with that being said, guys, subscribe to Fightful Select. It is the best $5 in the business, right next to that Blue Chew that you can pick up for yourself. And we will catch you guys next week with Kate and Alex. And I'll see you when I see you.
Later,
Until
guys.
then, we're out.